Welcome back, my Conrad Warriors. Today, we will be looking into Abraham Lincoln's top 10 quotes, wisdom that still shapes the world. In a time of deep division, war, and uncertainty, one man stood tall with wisdom, courage, and an unshakable moral compass. Abraham Lincoln wasn't just the 16th president of the United States. He was a symbol of resilience, honesty, and unity. His words echoed across a fractured nation and still resonate with the challenges we face today. In this video, we'll explore Lincoln's top 10 most powerful quotes, the deep meaning behind them, and what they can teach us about leadership, purpose, and personal growth in our own lives. From lessons on character, to discipline, to perseverance in the face of darkness, each quote carries a timeless truth. Whether you're a student, a parent, a leader, or simply someone trying to become better, this wisdom is for you. So if you're ready to learn how to lead with courage and character, stick around. This one's for you. Starting with number 1. Whatever you are, be a good one. This quote is a call to excellence, integrity, and pride in your path, no matter what role you play in life. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, a mechanic, or a CEO, your value is not in what you are, but in how well you live that role. It reminds us that dignity comes from doing your best, not from titles or status. Lincoln believed greatness could come from any station, so long as it was pursued with heart and honor. Let me share a traditional story. The samurai craftsman. In feudal Japan, a swordsmith named Masamune was revered not for being a warrior, but for crafting blades with such devotion and excellence that even emperors sought him out. Though not a samurai, he poured his soul into his work and became a legend in his own right. His mastery proved that greatness is not about being the most powerful, but about being the most committed to one's craft. Modern-day example, in the workplace and parenting. Imagine someone working as a janitor in a hospital. They don't hold a medical degree, but they perform their work with discipline, pride, and attention to detail. Knowing lives depend on cleanliness. That person becomes essential, respected, and irreplaceable. Or take a stay-at-home parent who brings creativity, patience, and unconditional love into raising their child. They're shaping the next generation and doing it with excellence. It's not what they are, it's how they do it. Here are 5 key tips to implement this quote into daily life. Own your role fully. Whether you're leading a team or making sandwiches, give it your all. Excellence builds self-worth. Commit to mastery, not just success. Focus on doing your job well, learning the craft, and refining your character. Success will follow. Find meaning in the mundane. Even repetitive or small tasks can become acts of pride and service when done with intention. Be reliable and accountable, show up. Be consistent. People trust and respect those who do what they say. Well, measure yourself by effort, not applause. Aim to be good because it's right, not because it's recognized. My Conrad's leadership isn't defined by age or title, but by how responsibly you handle what you're given. Next up is quote number 2. The best way to predict your future is to create it. This quote flips the script on waiting, hoping, or guessing what the future will bring. Instead, it urges you to take control, make conscious choices, and actively build the life you desire. It's not about fortune-telling. It's about decision-making. Rather than wondering what's coming, create momentum today that shapes the reality you want tomorrow. A traditional story. The farmer who planted a forest. In a small village, an old farmer was mocked for planting trees he'd never lived to sit under. Years passed, and the once barren land became a flourishing forest that protected the village from floods and heat. He didn't wait for change. He created the future. His vision, rooted in present action, became his legacy. Let me share a modern-day example. A young entrepreneur wants to escape the 9-to-5 grind. Instead of waiting for the perfect idea or right timing, she starts learning digital marketing at night, builds her brand slowly, and eventually launches a successful agency. She didn't predict success. She created it through daily, disciplined action. Or a father sees that his child struggles with confidence. Rather than hoping things get better, he spends time every night encouraging, teaching, and listening. Over years, that intentional investment creates a stronger future for his child. Here are 5 key tips to create your future. Today, set a clear vision. Know what you want. Be specific, not just success, but what kind, why, and for whom. Break the vision into daily actions. Big futures are built with small, consistent steps. Focus on progress, not perfection. Don't wait for permission or conditions. There will never be a perfect time. Start where you are. Use what you have. Surround yourself with builders, not doubters. Energy is contagious. Be around people who act, grow, and uplift, not those who predict failure. Take responsibility for your outcome. Victimhood waits, ownership builds. Even in tough times, ask, what can I do now to move forward? My Conrad Warriors. This quote reminds us that we are not passive observers of life. We are active participants. Waiting for circumstances to change or for the future to just happen leaves us powerless. But when we take initiative, set clear goals, and follow through with action, we become the architects of our own destiny. Number 3, government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. This iconic line defines the very heart of democracy. Lincoln is saying that true government draws its power from the people, not kings, not dictators, not elites. It exists to serve the people, is created by their will, and is accountable to them. It's a call to preserve freedom, participation, and justice. Because if people give up their role in governance, then freedom itself begins to fade. Traditional story: the Iroquois Confederacy. Long before modern democracies, the Iroquois Confederacy united 5, later 6 nations under a system of representative governance. Leaders were chosen by clan mothers, debated in councils, and made decisions for the benefit of the people. This system inspired many modern democratic ideals. Their wisdom showed that sustainable leadership comes from the people, with the people, for the people, a concept Lincoln echoed centuries later. A modern-day example: consider a company that thrives because leadership listens to employees, empowers them to contribute ideas, and puts their well-being first. This is a business of the people, by the people, for the people. Or in a school district where parents, teachers, and students all shape policies, their active involvement keeps the system healthy. But when people disengage, decisions become disconnected and trust erodes. 5 key tips to live. This quote today: stay informed and involved. Don't let others decide your future. Vote, volunteer, and speak up in your community or workplace. Hold leaders accountable. Whether in government, schools, or business, question, challenge, and demand transparency. Lead from within. You don't need a title to lead. Change starts with initiative. Speak for others, take action, be a voice. Build community, not just opinion. Collaboration beats criticism. Work with others to solve problems, not just argue over them. Teach these values to the next generation. Help children and young people understand the power of participation, that their voice matters. My Conrad Warriors. Lincoln's words are more than history. They are a daily reminder that freedom is not guaranteed. It's earned and maintained through engagement. Whether you're part of a nation, a company, or a family, the health of any system depends on the active, informed, and empowered participation of its people. If we choose silence or apathy, then the very foundation of fairness begins to crumble. But when we lead, speak, and act with integrity, we help ensure that liberty and justice do not perish, but flourish. Number 4, I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. This quote is about steady, forward-moving perseverance. It doesn't matter how fast you're growing, healing, or progressing. What matters is that you're not retreating, not giving up, and not going backwards. It honors consistency over speed and direction over perfection. A traditional story: the tortoise and the hare. The fast but arrogant hare mocks the slow-moving tortoise, yet it is the tortoise's steady, unwavering effort that wins the race. The lesson? Progress isn't about speed, it's about not giving up. Let me share with you a modern-day example around relationships. Imagine someone who's been through a toxic relationship, perhaps involving emotional manipulation, mistrust, or neglect. After finally walking away, they struggle with loneliness, doubt, or the temptation to go back. But instead of rushing into another relationship or returning to what broke them, they focus on healing, therapy, self-worth, and boundaries. It's slow, it's painful, but every step is forward, toward a healthier version of love. They're not sprinting into romance, but they refuse to walk back into patterns that hurt them. That is Lincoln's quote in action. 5 key tips to implement this in daily life, especially in relationships. Honor your pace. Don't compare your emotional progress to others. Healing takes time, and that's okay. Set non-negotiables. Know your values. Once you've left a toxic pattern, never go back just because it's familiar. Celebrate small wins, a better day, a stronger boundary, a hard conversation, all signs you're still walking forward. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Whether it's friends or support groups, be with those who walk with you, not pull you back. Journal your journey. Keep track of how far you've come. When the temptation to return arises, your own words can remind you why you left and how strong you've become. My Conrad Warriors, in love, as in life, growth isn't always fast or flashy, but progress is found in the quiet decision to not go backward. This quote teaches us to be patient with our pace, but uncompromising with our direction. Whether you're healing, rebuilding trust, or redefining love, just don't walk back. Even slow steps forward are still steps toward freedom, peace, and true connection. If you are like this video so far, please give it the thumbs up. Next up is quote number 5. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. This quote is a reminder that procrastination is a silent thief. Putting off responsibilities may give short-term relief, but it only amplifies tomorrow's pressure. Avoiding the hard tasks today doesn't make them disappear. It adds weight to your future. It's about accountability, discipline, and understanding that every day is a building block for what's next. A traditional story, the ant and the grasshopper. The hardworking ant prepares all summer for winter, while the carefree grasshopper sings and plays. When winter comes, the ant thrives and the grasshopper suffers. The moral? What you avoid today may cost you tomorrow. Modern-day example, time management and work-life balance. Imagine a team leader juggling multiple projects but consistently putting off scheduling their week, delegating tasks, or setting clear priorities. At first, it feels manageable, but over time, deadlines stack up, stress builds, and work spills into evenings and weekends, robbing time from their family and personal health. Now they're paying the price for every delayed decision. Had they taken 30 minutes daily to plan and prioritize, they could have stayed ahead, with room for both success and peace. Avoidance today equals burnout tomorrow. 5 key tips to apply this in daily life for time management and balance. Use the 2-minute rule. If something takes under 2 minutes, do it now. Small tasks left undone become tomorrow's clutter. Plan tomorrow tonight before ending your day. List top priorities for the next. Start with clarity instead of chaos. Set boundaries, then honor them. Avoid the temptation to catch up at home. Protect personal time like you would a deadline. Break big tasks into daily bites. Spread work out to reduce stress. A little progress daily prevents the big crunch later. Reflect weekly. Ask yourself, what did I delay this week that I'll regret next week? Then fix it early. My Conrad Warriors Lincoln's wisdom reminds us that responsibility doesn't disappear. It just waits, heavier and more urgent. In work and life, avoiding the hard stuff today creates stress, guilt, and imbalance tomorrow. But when we face what matters now, we reclaim control of our future. Success, peace, and balance all begin with the courage to act today, not later. At number 6, nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Adversity reveals resilience, but power reveals true character. When someone struggles, their strength is tested. But when they gain power, wealth, control, or freedom, that's when their values, discipline, and integrity are truly exposed. This quote reminds us, how you behave when you have options says more than how you behave when you have no choice. Let me share a traditional story, the parable of the rich fool. A man's land yields a huge harvest, and instead of using it wisely or giving back, he builds bigger barns and hoards it for himself, thinking he can now relax and enjoy. But that very night he dies, never using his wealth to serve anything beyond himself. Lesson? Wealth isn't wrong, but how you use it reflects who you are. Modern-day example around budgeting. During financial stress, imagine someone who's just landed a higher-paying job after years of scraping by. They now have breathing room, power over their time, choices, and spending. But instead of budgeting wisely, they overextend, upgrading everything, taking on debt, and chasing appearances. Soon they're back under stress, but this time it's self-created. Contrast that with someone who, after getting a raise, still budgets, saves, supports family, and invests in long-term goals. They use that financial power with discipline and foresight, showing true character. In both cases, it's not the adversity that defined them. It was what they did when they had control. 5 key tips to apply this in daily life. Create a budget that honors your values. Don't just spend more because you can. Spend in alignment with what matters. Stability, family, purpose. Treat surplus as stewardship, not license. Financial breathing room isn't a green light to waste. It's a chance to build wisely. Set limits before lifestyle creep. Avoid letting rising income lead to rising expenses. Cap certain categories and stick to it. Be generous, but strategic true character includes giving, but give smartly where it truly helps. Ask weekly, what does this expense say about me? Every financial choice reflects your mindset. Let it be a reflection of integrity, not impulse. My Conrad Warriors Lincoln's insight teaches us that power, including financial power, doesn't corrupt, it reveals. Anyone can budget when they have no choice. But when you finally can afford things, will you stay grounded, disciplined, and generous? Character isn't tested by struggle, it's tested by surplus. Budgeting with integrity not only builds wealth, but also proves maturity, strength, and wisdom. Please drop your comments below and don't forget to like. Quote number 7. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. This quote reflects a moral law of balance. If you take away someone else's freedom, dignity, or rights, you've shown yourself unworthy of those same blessings. It's a powerful reflection on justice, hypocrisy, and consequence, and it aligns closely with the spiritual principle of karma. What you do unto others will return to you. A traditional story, the tyrant who fell. A ruthless landowner banned workers from taking breaks, punished dissent, and manipulated contracts. Over time, those same workers banded together, exposed his corruption, and he lost everything: wealth, respect, and status. The more he oppressed, the more his downfall grew. He denied others fairness, and karma took his away. A modern-day example, karma in the workplace. A powerful executive builds a successful company, but uses fear, overwork, and control to dominate employees. He denies promotions to deserving staff, pressures people to work weekends, fires those who speak up. Eventually, talented workers start leaving. The company's culture crumbles. His own board ousts him for mismanagement and public backlash. He had power, but by denying others fairness and freedom, he created the very energy that stripped him of his own. That's karma, not just mystical, but cause and effect in motion. Here are 5 key tips to live this quote and avoid negative karma. Treat others as equals, not instruments. People are not tools to use. They are lives to respect. Power should elevate, not suppress. Protect the rights of others, even when it's inconvenient. Speak up for fairness, even when it's not your fight. Karma rewards those who defend the voiceless. Practice empathy in leadership and relationships. Understand others' needs and freedom. Don't take what you wouldn't want taken from you. Lead by example, not fear. Inspire and empower. Don't control. Energy given returns tenfold. Reflect before you react. When tempted to control, manipulate, or silence, ask, would I want this done to me? That pause could save your karma. My Conrad Warrior's Lincoln's quote is more than a political statement. It's a universal law of balance and moral integrity. When we deny others their freedom to speak, grow, or live with dignity, we sow the seeds of our own downfall. Karma may not always strike instantly, but it always seeks equilibrium. To keep your freedom, respect the freedom of others. To stay in grace, act with grace. That's how we protect not just our lives, but our legacy. Quote number 8. My concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side. Lincoln is saying, don't assume your actions are righteous just because they serve your interests. Instead, ask whether your choices are truly aligned with higher principles: justice, integrity, compassion, truth. This quote warns against using faith or morality as a justification for your agenda, and instead urges you to align your agenda with what is genuinely right. Let me share a traditional story, King Solomon's wisdom. Two women claimed to be the mother of a child. Solomon didn't pick a side. Instead, he sought truth, not favoritism. His goal wasn't to appear wise or side with power. It was to do what was just in the eyes of a higher law. Here is a modern-day example around ethical leadership in business. Imagine a company under financial pressure. A CEO has a choice: cut corners by sourcing cheaper materials using unethical labor overseas, or stick to fair trade and responsible sourcing, even though it reduces short-term profits. Many would rationalize the first option by saying, we need to survive, God understands. But the leader who says, we must do what's right even if it costs us, chooses to align with principle, not just self-interest. And often, over time, that integrity attracts loyal customers, ethical investors, and long-term sustainability, proving that being on the right side is also being on the wise side. 5 key tips to apply this quote in business. Don't just ask, can we? Ask, should we? Success that violates conscience is not true success. Let values guide decisions, especially under pressure. When money, deadlines, or power are at stake, double down on integrity. Avoid moral justification for self-interest. Don't assume being right for you means you are right overall. Examine the bigger impact. Build a culture of accountability to higher principles. Align your business with ethics, fairness, and long-term good, not just short-term wins. Pause before big moves. Am I aligned with what's right? Quiet reflection can prevent future regret. Ask not if you're winning, ask if you're doing what's right. My Conrad Warriors. In a world where winning often trumps wisdom, Lincoln's quote reminds us, it's not about proving the universe is backing your success. It's about ensuring your success is built on what's truly right. In business, this means leading with integrity, even when it's costly, because true alignment with what's good, fair, and just creates not only peace of mind, but trust, legacy, and lasting impact. At number 9, do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? This quote reveals a powerful truth. True victory isn't revenge, it's transformation. When you turn an enemy into an ally, you don't just win the battle, you remove the hostility altogether. It's also a reminder that responding with understanding, not rage, is often the most powerful way to disarm conflict. Rather than letting anger consume you, Lincoln invites us to rise above it and seek common ground. A traditional story, the bamboo and the wind, Asian parable. The wind raged against the bamboo, trying to break it, but the bamboo bent without snapping. It remained grounded, flexible, not forceful. In the end, the storm passed, but the bamboo still stood. Lesson? Strength isn't always resistance. Sometimes it's in how calmly you respond. Modern-day example, anger at work or online. Imagine a team member constantly criticizes your work in meetings, often sarcastically. Naturally, your anger builds. You could snap back, escalate the tension, or involve others in the conflict. But instead, you pull them aside privately and calmly ask, "Hey, I've noticed some tension. Is something bothering you? I'm open to feedback if there's something I can improve." This disarms them. Maybe they admit to personal stress or insecurity. Through that calm conversation, you shift the dynamic from enemies to collaborators. By managing your anger and showing maturity, you don't just avoid conflict, you end it by transforming the relationship. 5 key tips to control anger and turn enemies into allies. Pause before reacting. Take 5 deep breaths. Give yourself space to respond, not react. Emotion needs a buffer. Seek understanding over judgment. Ask, why is this person acting this way? Often, anger hides pain or insecurity. Use compassionate confrontation. Address conflict directly but with empathy, not blame. Don't mirror their energy. Just because they lash out doesn't mean you should. Your calm can reset the tone. Focus on resolution, not victory. Ask us, how can we fix this? Instead of, how can I win this? That's how enemies become allies. My Conrad Warriors Lincoln's quote reminds us that anger doesn't solve problems. Transformation does. When we let go of the need to get even and instead try to understand and uplift, we don't just defeat hostility, we erase it. The greatest victory isn't domination, it's peace. And often that begins with your willingness to control your emotions and lead with heart, not heat. Please share your thoughts below and help others by giving your comments. And finally, at number 10, character is like a tree and reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. This quote speaks to the difference between appearance and reality, between who you truly are, your character, and how others perceive you, your reputation. Reputation is fragile, subjective, and often based on limited understanding. Character, on the other hand, is rooted in integrity, consistency, and the way you act when no one is watching. Lincoln reminds us to focus on being solid and honest at the core, not just chasing public approval. Modern-day example, social media influencer versus real integrity. A popular influencer has millions of followers and is known for posting motivational quotes and luxury lifestyle content. Their reputation, the shadow, seems flawless. But behind the scenes, they mistreat their team, promote products they don't use, and constantly exaggerate their success. Eventually, someone exposes the truth, and the reputation crumbles. In contrast, a lesser-known entrepreneur consistently treats their staff with respect, delivers honest value to customers, and makes ethical decisions, even when no one's looking. They might not trend online, but over time, their character, the tree, earns trust, loyalty, and respect, the kind that lasts. Key takeaways. Reputation can be manipulated. Character cannot. Focus on being genuine, not just being admired. The world may chase shadows, but roots hold the tree upright, not reflections. My Conrad Warriors, in a world obsessed with likes, followers, and public image, Lincoln's wisdom reminds us that who you are matters more than how you're seen. Reputation may open a door, but character decides if you stay in the room. So build your life like a strong tree, steady, rooted, and real, and let the shadow take care of itself. Thank you for watching, and remember, Abraham Lincoln's words were forged in times of war, division, and uncertainty, yet they still speak to our lives today with remarkable clarity. Each quote we've explored isn't just a sentence from history, it's a mirror to our choices, a guide to our character, and a challenge to rise higher in how we lead, live, and love. Whether it's doing what's right over what's easy, choosing character over reputation, or creating your future instead of waiting for it, Lincoln's legacy reminds us that greatness is not born overnight. It's built one honest, courageous decision at a time. So take these lessons with you, not just as quotes, but as tools. And remember, true power lies not in having control, but in having the courage to live by principle. Thanks for watching again. And until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and stay true. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to this channel to see more content.